Ah yes, the infamous debate between sub versus dub. Some of you hate dubs, some of you hate subs, and some of you just don't care, like me. To be honest, I've hated this debate for a long time. I never really understood why people were fighting over this issue, because at the end of the day, we are all the same. We all love anime, so let people watch whatever they want to, and however they want. Give people the freedom that they rightfully so deserve. Everyone and everything should be free, cause this is a free country. Never be a loser, never be a racist, and most importantly, never be a I mean a furry. So me being a hypocrite, I will be talking about sub versus dub. And do note that this will be all from my personal experience, so this video will be kinda biased. And by the way, it actually turns out that 87% of you guys are not subscribed. So if you enjoyed this video, why not consider subscribing to the most epic channel on YouTube? As Shakespeare once said, what is sub and what is dub exactly? Well, good question, my dear friend Shakespeare. In sub, the characters are speaking in Japanese, and English text is shown at the bottom for translation. In a dub, new voice actors are hired, and it's all in English. And am I reading this off some random website? Maybe. And you might be asking yourselves, well, how will you compare the two? I will be using a Venn diagram. If you don't know what a Venn diagram is, here is a picture of it. It was made by a guy called Venn, and his father's name is Diagram, I think. So class is in session, kids. This is most likely one of the biggest complaints that only sub watchers have, and that is the argument that Japanese voice actors are simply just better. But why is that? Well, to be honest with you guys, I don't know myself. So I went to the best website. It's filled with really educated intellectuals, and that site is none other than Reddit. And one dude made a post that got 6k upvotes, so I think we can trust it. Eternal Midnight says that when it comes to anime productions, the Japanese voice actors of whichever scene they are recording all come together in one room, meaning that the VAs are in the same room when the dialogue is being recorded. This means when characters are having a conversation, the voice actors are also having that conversation in the same room, which is why the voice acting seems more authentic and natural. However, when it comes to English voice acting and dubs in general, there are dozens of behind the scenes videos which show that the actor/actress come alone in a booth, records his or her part, then leaves. Which is why I think people claim that sub has more emotions.
No fair! It's not fair, damn it! Why are you helping her anyway? After all the things that you did to my friend Kai!
Yes, the dub is good, but at least from this clip, the subbed version has just more emotion. Another reason could be that the US, or at least people from the West, don't take voice acting seriously, so they are kinda looked down upon. In Japan, however, voice actors are respected and are often treated like normal actors. So basically, you'll have an easier time being a voice actor in Japan rather in the US. And this will lead to people avoiding becoming a voice actor, which brings us to the third issue that dubbed animes have, and that is how repetitive the voices are. They are basically reusing the same dudes way too much, and that can be sometimes quite annoying to some people. I personally love it when I can recall what that said voice actor worked on. Fun fact: have you ever watched Disney XD? If so, then you most likely watched this show. And there was one boomer who actually turns out to be the voice actor of Naruto.
Show those shoppers!
Not just about that promise now.
You can't unsee it now, can you? And also, did you know that the voice actor for McCree is the same guy that voiced Jotaro?
1983. Mother's name, Tomoko. She was 21, attending university in Tokyo. Time. Thanks. Put it on my tab. Reach for the sky.
Okay, I think I'm gonna stop. And I'm not saying that there are no good dubbed animes. There are plenty, especially in recent times. I mean, there are some shows where I cannot imagine myself watching the subbed version. For example, Mob Psycho, Dragon Ball, My Hero Academia are just a few to name. And when I started watching anime, I used to watch only dubbed animes. But then I kinda got used to watching them subbed. So why did I switch to sub? Well, thank you so much for asking. The main reason I switched is because dubbed animes are always delayed. But if the dub is good and actually delivers, then I am of course watching the dub. And another reason why I might prefer dub over sub depends highly on the settings. C-Dog VA, I don't know how to pronounce his name, made a whole video talking about this. I would really recommend checking him out. He basically states that if an anime is set in Japan, then it would feel more natural if it's in Japanese. And if the anime is set in New York in the 1940s, then it would be better off if they spoke English. 91 Days is a perfect example of a dub done right in my opinion. The story is set in a town called Lawless, Illinois in 1928, and they sound like they are from Illinois. Something as simple as changing the accent can add so much.
Get in bed with them and you might as well slit your own throat. I thought we were simpatico.
A man needs a raison d'etre.
And when some animes don't implement this, it just becomes weird in my opinion. Let's just take Vinland Saga for example. As you guys know, the story takes place in the age of the Vikings, and Vikings speak Norse, I think. But of course, in Vinland Saga, they speak Japanese, which is really confusing at times. Like imagine a guy who speaks Norse attempts to communicate with a dude from England, whilst at the same time, all of them are speaking Japanese. See what I mean? Translation can often be really close to the original, or it can be this.
You're treating Leo.
What? Why me?
Why? Because Jewish people rock!
Finally!
Even in subbed animes, the translation can be trash, especially in different languages, other than English of course, and in my native language, you can rarely find any good subbed animes. And if you do, it's most likely fan dubbed, meaning that it'll have a ton of mistakes, and this is an issue I feel like no one else really highlights in these sort of sub versus dub videos, because it turns out that most people who watch anime don't have English as their first language. Yes, most people nowadays know how to speak in English, but reading can become an issue for some people. I have some friends who can speak and read English fluently, but they can't stand reading subtitles. So, in conclusion, you're not better than anyone if you watch anime subbed, and vice versa. At the end of the day, people can watch whatever they want, and if you shame someone just because he/she likes watching sub or dubbed animes, then get a life, dude. So that basically ends off the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, subscribe. There are a ton of videos that talk about the subject. I'll leave some in the description below. You should totally check them out, and I will leave all of the articles that I used in the description as well. So anyways, my name is Soap, and I'll see you in another video. Hey you, do you have friends? Do you have a family? Why not join the most epic Discord server in the world? You can message me, chat with others, and talk about soap.
You know how much you mean to me. Why must you leave? I'm just a flower.